Some of you will be so mad at me for colouring my hair, but I know that so many more of you would be so much madder if I didn't film it for you. So today my objective is to attempt to dye the very lowest or bottom layer, whatever, kind of a dark blonde, and I also want to try and put some lowlights through the top as well. What I'm going to use for it is this from L'Oreal. It's, sorry, I've just run downstairs to get something. It's their Preference Mousse Absolute. I haven't used it before, but I thought I could use it as kind of a review at the same time because it's their new reusable hair colour. The colour that I have is natural dark blonde, this colour, and you know, obviously very different to this, but I'm only going to put a few lowlights through the top and then the very bottom layer, like I say. So I just want to add a little bit of dimension and hopefully make it a little bit lower maintenance, I suppose. I mean, my roots look pretty dark because obviously they're against this very blonde colour, but I'm not particularly dark, like naturally. My hair is kind of light brown / dark blonde anyway. It's probably not much darker than this if it's darker than this when it completely grows out. So I'm hoping that if I put some of this colour, just a few parts through the top layers, then it will grow out a little bit more natural. I don't know. I don't know how many layers I'm going to need to go through. I'm thinking kind of a few through the top, then a few less through the middle, and then the very bottom layer, all that colour. So we'll see. I'm kind of making it up as I go along. As always, another thing that's a bit strange is that I do not have foils. I cannot find any foil in my house, and so I'm going to use greaseproof paper. And my thinking behind this is rather than kind of fold it up like this, because obviously it's not bleach, you don't have to be quite as precise, and it's not quite as kind of don't get it on other things, etc. I'm going to kind of put this on. Let me give you an example. I'm going to obviously show you what I'm going to do, but I'm going to put this on and then paint whatever it is, and then I'm going to put another layer on top. So each one, rather than having foils folded over, will have 2 sheets of greaseproof paper. We'll see what happens. I also have some clips if I need to kind of keep them in. We'll see. So I'm going to use this stuff. I've never used it before, and I'm just going to film it. I'm going to make it fast forward, and I'm going to put music to it, just because I'm not really going to talk much over it because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just going to make it up as I go along. But if it works, then hopefully I can help you guys do this same thing without spending like £80+ on having your hair done at the hairdressers, because that's kind of what I'm looking at. So what I was thinking was I spend £9 on this kit. Worst case scenario, it's darker blonde than I want, and I go back and get my colour slightly different, and I pay the full price I was going to pay anyway. So that's kind of where I'm at. I thought we'll have a bash, try and put a little bit of dark in it, but I'm not going all over dark because then obviously that's a little bit more difficult to correct. So let's see what happens. Okay, so that's everything I'm doing, and it didn't really work out the way that I'd planned. I'd kind of forgotten how much I hate mousse hair dye, and the fact that, of course, mousse hair dye was never going to work when trying to do anything other than a full head. To be quite honest, until I told you it was a mousse, I didn't know it was a mousse. I just kind of saw it and thought, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Even though it says mousse absolute really large on the front of the box. I just didn't assume that it was going to be a mousse hair now. So yeah, let's just see what happens. I've put 2 layers of lowlights in the middle, one kind of fairly heavy layer right in the kind of centre, and put that all to one side because this is the only way that I could figure out to try. Because in the middle, I've kind of just left it to go in with the rest of them because I'm not really that bothered about the mid sections. I never put my hair kind of half up or anything, so it's not going to be the worst thing in the world if it's not amazing in the middle. But the top section, obviously, you're going to see all the time, so I tried to keep that separate from the rest of my hair that I haven't dyed. And the very, very bottom section, I've just kind of tied up, and hopefully that doesn't affect anything. But I apologise to all of you professional hairdressers out there that it is going to be painful for you to watch this. I understand. But there are lots of people that like to see me do these crazy things to my hair because it's comical to you guys when I wash it out and it looks horrendous. And you know, that's what I'm here for, comedy value. If this does look awful, then there's a silver lining because you guys get to see it and it's entertaining for you. So this is what I've done for my hair. Ooh, the doorbell. Luckily, someone else is in the house to answer that. I don't have to go like this. So yeah, this is what I've done to my hair. I'm hoping it's just going to kind of add a little bit of something to it and just darken it up a little bit because it was getting a little bit too blonde. I really liked the colour, don't get me wrong, really liked the colour, but the problem is, of course, that then you have to maintain that and you have to bleach it, and the more you bleach it, the more damaged it becomes. And I was going to go to the hairdressers and have this done professionally, but I thought I might have a bash myself, like I said earlier, so I can't tell you what it's going to look like yet, but I'm probably going to wait 10-20 minutes, wash it out. If it's not bright enough to show you now, I will show you in the morning, but it's all going to be in the same video. And this will be happening like 2 weeks before you see this video. So I'm sure lots of you will already know via my blog or Twitter or Instagram, because I have so many videos. Every time I upload a lot of videos or have a lot of videos, not uploaded, but scheduled, I have like 2 weeks worth of videos actually uploading right now on YouTube. Every time I do that, I do something crazy to my hair. Every single time. So it's not kind of in the moment that I'm telling you what I've done to my hair. It's 2 weeks later. Every time. It's so crazy. So anyway, last time I did this, last time I had this many like videos all up and running, all my hair was really terribly damaged and I had it cut to here. So that's not a good sign, is it? But I better go because there's lots of noise downstairs and I will come back with the result. I'm also going to cut it a little bit. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just because I've lost almost all the light, but I think I've got just about enough to show you what it looks like now I've dried it. And I really, really like it. I'm so pleased that I used that stuff, purely because I still have at least half of it left if I want to touch it up or kind of deepen it up at all. I think I may put some more low lights through the midsections. The top I love. It's exactly how I wanted it, just kind of still blonde. I actually used it in some areas to kind of make it look like my roots have grown out more than they have. So I kind of painted them only halfway and then left it so the ends are more blonde and the roots are kind of darker, and that's what I wanted. I'm really, really pleased with it. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out because, you know, with these things I tend to go a little bit wrong, but in this situation I think the colour was right and bizarrely the technique worked. Don't try this at home and all that stuff, you know, it wasn't perfect and it would have been 1,000 times easier if I'd had foil and I could find my tinting brush instead of using my hands in the end. But yeah, not the ideal way to do it with that kind of formula. I wouldn't use the mousse again to do it, you know, if I did it again after this stuff has run out, because it's not that easy. But what I did afterwards, after kind of the film that you saw, once I'd kind of gotten dressed and was ready to get in the bath, I parted my hair to where I would normally have it, and then I just put a couple of extra pieces in. I kind of just picked them out and then covered them in the colour, just little bits and pieces, and I think that that's what helped get me the look that I really, really wanted, because obviously I'd left it as my centre parting, and I'd done it kind of all level, but then I thought, well, I normally part it to the side, so then I did the extra bits, but you could easily do that. It was basically just picking parts out and then covering them in dye. If you remember those L'Oreal kits that you used to be able to get, they used to do a full head of colour and then you used to get a tiny little kind of plasticky brush with bleach on it. I used to use those so much, I swear. Oh my god, that's like a huge blast from the past. But if you remember those, if you're as old as me, or older, then it's kind of like that technique that I used. Rather than using foils and things, I just kind of picked pieces out and dyed those little bits. So yeah, really, really pleased with it. Obviously I haven't cut it. I'm gonna cut it a little bit, not loads, but you can see like from there, the roots are considerably darker than the ends. But that's what I wanted, so yeah, really, really pleased with it. Let me know if you try something similar at home. If you've seen any really good tutorials of how to do this, then please share them in the box below, because everybody's always wanting to do things like this at home, and this is by far probably the worst tutorial on YouTube. It's more of a this is how I did it than this is how you should do it. But I'm glad that it turned out okay, and this is how my hair will look in my next few videos. So yeah, I'll see you guys in those videos. Bye.